Hello, Crowborn Chaos here. Yeah, it's been 2 years since my last video. Oh well. Today's video, uh, it's gonna be more about. It's gonna be a rant, but it's not gonna be structured. There's no little paper I have with bulletin points. But I kind of just want to talk. I guess get things off my mind. Um, but yeah. Today's subject is about Aphmau. It's just like I said, it's just gonna be my thoughts and stuff, my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. It's fine. I'm just things I've noticed, my concerns, my thoughts. Um, I guess I'll start at the beginning. You know, um, I got into. Well, I became a follower of Dill back when Minecraft Diary Season 1 was still going. So yeah, I was in my teens back then. So yeah. But yeah, that's when I first started watching her videos. No, I really actually enjoyed her storytelling. It was actually fun, you know. Um, the characters had depth. The story, you are always grasping and wondering what was going to happen next, which is pretty great. Any storyteller that can keep you guessing and wondering is a pretty good, But things began to change, especially late season two, season three. Just the quality of her writing began to drop. Um, Character potential was thrown out away. Story still rushed. Character development, things. I, characters that have I understand that is played by her husband, and she loves her husband. And even if her intent was always to get with Aaron, she did not. The way it played out did not go well. Especially since there's Gareth and Lawrence, who, character-wise and in story-wise, made much more better pairing in sense because they've literally sacrificed so much for her. Garth sacrifice year Dill's trapped in another dimension, keep her and her friends safe, and literally Lawrence died and then was tortured in their equivalent of hell for no for her, and and then she meets a guy for about a month and then bangs him in the woods. That being Aaron. It's just it it's not very good story writing on that part. At least on character development makes no sense. I mean, the character logic does that why it does. You have two guys and no, even if her intentions were Aaron the entire time, she did not. It did not. You have to have a transition though, and more development. Aaron's character did not really have any development, really. Um, we got to know his backstory was his village was killed by Zane, and then he banged Aphmau, and then he killed himself. Uh, yeah, that's basically sums up his entire deal. He didn't really do. Um, yeah, compared to Garth and Lawrence and what they've actually done, it really feels very shallow and almost cruel what she did. Um, And yeah, nothing said that she had to get with Garth and Lawrence. I'm not saying that, but the way she treated them and the way it played out, like Garth is the one that sacrificed the whole year until Aaron just jumped in at the last moment and died, denying, and then she mourned Aaron. Didn't really give much thought to Garth, even though Garth was the one there for fighting off Dill for her. Um, and then, Lawrence got cast aside. Uh, Poor Lawrence. He actually had a very interesting character development. Um, Other things are she started becoming more and more like a Mary Sue. And yeah, main character, you get it. You want your main character. Main characters usually become powerful and stuff like that. But like the term feels like her being Irene was predictable, and it wasn't very. Even if that wasn't a goal, it could have been done a bit better. But that aside, a lot of characters really hit the side hill, such as Dante, um, uh, yeah, Cadenza. A lot of characters ended up not really meaning any much because they kind of got forgotten. Like Dante was a less kind of bit no one like he was technically a romance path, but it became very quickly that he wasn't really going to go down that path, especially with Quiet Chan in the picture and other things. Um, the other things, let's see. Michi, yeah, she's a villain. She's no, but this pertains to both Minecraft Diaries and My Street Michi. Both is that she is a character. Yeah, she villain supposed to be playing off of Dill, awful, but she had a lot of character potential, and Aphmau never did anything with it. We never figure out why Michi is Michi. Um, Neither in Diaries or My Street. Um, in My Street, we even discover she's nice when she was younger, and we don't know what the hell changed or caused her. She was just there. Um, um, and yeah, I admit bias there. I was a Michi fan because, like I said, there was a lot of character potential there. She also had a very good kind of flair of attitude. It's funny. Um, she had the potential to become a more in-depth villain and stuff like that, or even potentially maybe had a possibility being redeemed if we ever had more information on her, but we didn't, and that never happened. It's well, but yeah, no, she definitely did. Back to topic now. Like I said, I am jumping all over the place in this. This is just a ranting, whatever my things. I'm sorry. It's not a very organized video. I just I need to express my thoughts. Um, Uh, Furthermore, with those like Minecraft Diaries Season 3, story, going back to topic of story, it went downhill starting though because she became more preachy, which we weren't there for. Though. Especially, it's more pronounced, more preachy in the later in season 3, not the beginning, but more in the later parts. But yeah, didn't quite like that. That's not why you watch an RPG. You're watching it for fun, to engross yourself into the story, not sit there and get a lecture by these characters. Um, and the other thing was just like with her and that Duchess of that one kingdom, Lawyer no, with Haley, or what's her name, they were getting married, and they didn't want, and she didn't want the marriage, and they were trying to stop the son and his mother. The whole time I was just thinking, what's the conflict here? Because like there was no doubt in my mind because we knew that she had the powers of Irene at that point, that she was Irene, and that she was and had the powers and could use it until um like I was just all the time that this struggle was now I was like, what in the world is stopping her from just walking into that castle uh, and getting Haley out, or you know, putting down these two, because they nothing like the whole contingent of our guards. No, she could. We knew at that point she could easily take them. We knew that the two also couldn't contest her in power either, and she didn't like them, and she clearly didn't care about the. She wasn't too worried about the consequences of marching in there. So literally, she was dawdling for some odd reason there. Um, but yeah, I have to say she did well with Zane. Uh, at least in yeah, My Street Zane, not Minecraft Diaries Zane. Definitely more evil, but I enjoyed. Keston's voice actor did a good job pouring him life, and the story arc with him was always interesting. I always liked the deal. It's like, yeah, he's evil and all this, but he had the makings of being a really great villain. But she also fell flat in her deal because she never finished season 3. Um, I did like the thought of him corrupting Emma. To be honest, like like a villain corrupting a pure and innocent character. It's always been an interesting story. You know. No, I mean you don't need to go into like dark things. It's just thought of a villain uh, slowly corrupting the innocent, um, and that kind of story. And what actually seemed like she was going that route for a bit, but then she kind of just just started, I don't know, dawdling more, and then stopped. Um, it's actually a real shame too, because like Minecraft Diaries was pretty good. Like it was, what drew me in was she had phenomenal storytelling. She had great characters. Yeah, it wasn't no perfect show or anything like that, but it was interesting. It caught you on. And then to see the writing become more predictable, to become the seeing struggles that weren't really struggles, uh, ships and relationships, things that had many episodes building to be just bonds and things. Many things have built in episodes to build up, and they'll just be thrown out the window. Um, and it was kind of sad to watch. If we can, let's switch gears to My Street for a bit. And My Street, you know, it was more like it always had that more lighthearted tone to it compared to Minecraft Diaries. It was different. It was set into a more modern setting. Um, and I enjoyed Dell. It was pretty endearing. Dell, especially when you're having these day-to-day adventures and seeing a more lighthearted tone. It was still refreshing and good. But uh, things started taking a shift. Moreover, when uh, Phoenix Drop High first started, Dill. At first it was pretty great until Dill. But things started becoming. This is where her Mary Sue face really started to show more, at least for me. Um, like every guy that was fawning over her in some manner. Um, it's not just in Phoenix Drop High, but even every guy would fawn over her. There was a character assassination, uh, but I don't mean like someone actually died. I meant like their whole character, their entirety of who that character was assassinated, and that happened with Garth and Lawrence, I think. Yeah. Um, yeah, that I'll get to that. Ian, when he first showed up, loved him, pretty great. Um, Minor complaint, he didn't need to become the surprise villain. Zane actually was, I agree with others. Zane was actually a pretty good. If they wanted, if she could have made Zane a pretty good villain. Um, Ian didn't need to be, um, like because before Ian was revealed as evil, there was Ian, the Iron shippers. Now, of course, we shipped them not because no, we knew she got and it would end with Aaron. Like we knew that was that she would end up with Aaron. We knew that, but it doesn't mean she couldn't have had other boyfriends and stuff like that. So, you know, and having someone different other than Aaron would be a refreshing take. Just I know, I know it's like I said, I know Aaron is played by her husband, but Aaron is not her husband. Aaron is a character, and Aphmau is a character. Jess is a person, and Jason is a person. But Jason is not Aaron, and Jess is not Aphmau. Two different things. One's a character, one's a person. Same thing over there. And it's okay for a character to have no, just because this guy plays this character doesn't mean that automatically they must get together. No, and um, well, my point overall is it was okay if she had. The reason why we shipped Aphmau, Ian and uh, Aphmau together before, because they seemed genuine. It was actually a pretty cool thing. And it was fun. I think it's high school. course, he had other girlfriends or interests, and yeah, we knew it wasn't gonna last. But hey, it would have been kind of cool to see her have other interests other than Aaron, you know. So didn't have to deal. So the whole him becoming a surprise villain, eh, wasn't. They didn't. She didn't. It left a bad taste. Wasn't the worst thing because once you got though, um, because it wasn't the worst thing because they really did good on making Ian a pretty good villain. But I'm just saying it wasn't a necessary thing, nor was it a. It, it felt the way it was done. I would say, yeah, the way it was done felt rushed and out of place. Like his character literally did a 180. Um, before we get to character assassination moment that happened in Phoenix Drop High for Garth and Lawrence was when they went to the ice rink. And they brought their dates. Lawrence with Michi and Garth with Ivy. And my God, I remember it to this day. Like I don't even need to. It was just. It was awful. Even Ian seemed out of character to what he was. It was. Yeah, even Ian felt out of character in that episode. Yeah, he was evil. But, we knew he was evil, but he didn't. He was making choices and decisions that just felt like needed for the plot rather than what his character would naturally do. But aside from that, back to the character. Literally, they brought these girls to the dance, Miji and Ivy, and these girls, they're not with Aphmau. Neither of them are. She's at this moment, trying to date Kai at the moment. Um, and to be honest, what disgusted me though is they were ogling her. They were there with their girlfriends and were not only ogling Aphmau but pining after her while with these other girls, and that was just disgusting. I mean, that was not that's just not only that isn't morally wrong, but that's disrespectful to both Ivy and Michi. Doesn't matter. That's just a very disrespectful thing to do. It's also gross because it makes them look pathetic and awful, and it did not match their character. I mean, at that point, like that really ruined. Like that was kind of disgusting for me, though. So, um, let's see. I have to say I didn't like how Garth was handled. To be honest, I definitely liked his Minecraft Diaries version a whole lot better than his My Street version. Because he just became big. Because My Street version, he just became big dumb oaf. And yeah, he became big dumb lovable oath later Dill, but he never felt like Garth, especially when you watch when he came from Minecraft Diaries to watch My Street. It just he was lovable and adorable, but he didn't feel like Garth. He lacked that noble warriors, that noble sense, the honorable guy, the doesn't need not warrior, doesn't need to have the I don't know, but you know, the, the solid guy, the person you can trust, you know, that he had, that trustful, respectful, dignified. I mean, yeah, he wasn't always the brightest guy in the bunch, even in uh, Minecraft Diaries, but he was never just a big dumb mouth, which he was in my street. But it's kind of shame. And their brother Vlad, poor guy. I mean, he had he's a character that had potential, but she never did anything with him, so he became non-important and easily cast aside. Dante and Lawrence in my street just fell off after season, what, 2, I think. Um, mm, it's just kind of sad to see characters just trying to instead of writing the story for these characters, they started to feel more like these characters were being written to fill the plot rather instead of them feeling like these are characters breathing in the story. It felt more like the characters only serve to make the story but not to live them. But the story didn't know. I don't know. Post Phoenix drop high. Well, no, before that, I never liked her possessive pronouns that she would place on the werewolves. Like, these are my pods, these are my things. Never liked her possessive grasp on things of footstooling herself by saying that these are mine, becoming like little. It just felt weird. Yeah, again, I apologize. I'm moving from topic to topic, but um, it's just I just need a vent. Not really angry, just a lot of thoughts. If moreover, it's more of a rant of disappointment. If I had to say it, no, it's just disappointment would definitely be the key emotion that I'd be feeling. Uh, um, things on Ian villain. Topic of Ian being a villain. Ian was competent until the plot demanded he wasn't, which was like you could actually tell when because he would start making choices that didn't make sense. He would do typical villain mistakes. You're like, this doesn't feel like a person. This feels like he's just evil, and the heroes need to win here. Or he'd be making. She did manage to get a little bit better at that, but she never fully got on Dell. Um, Michael was actually pretty interesting. I did like Michael Dell, but uh, the Emerald Secret, before we knew Michael and all that, back to the topic of Ian. Yeah, Ian was a. Since we're more affirmed with Ian being no, I guessed it was Ian before it was revealed. And yeah, he was obsessed. Ian was obsessive still, but my problem with the Emerald Street was again Michi. Um, Michi felt out of character on that. I don't think she would have worked with Ian. Um, she had no reason to. Um, he also mistreated her, so she definitely wouldn't have liked that. Um, I mean, Classendale, Garth and Zane's relationship didn't. I felt a bit rushed in there. Like, I mean, Zane's lived most of his life in his brother's shadow, and I don't know. Garth is a bit different. I don't know. I don't know. I did like Evil Aphmau on that. That was actually pretty interesting. Um, Not sure I completely agree with the way they managed to snap her out of it. Think that could have been handled a bit better, but that's just my opinion. Um, and well, I knew that I mean, the story wise, Ian was going to be that Aaron was going to win. We knew that, but the way it played out, I'm not sure. It felt a bit empty the way it played out. Uh, yeah, I mean, Ian just be beaten up by the wolves. Ian being the wreckage stick. I don't know. It, like you said, the thing that really frustrated Adele is that he would go from being competent to incompetent because the story demanded that he needed to be defeated, so he needed a strike of incompetence. I just never liked that trope in villains. Like a villain is competent through most of the story, and then in order for the hero to win, he's suddenly incompetent. And I like the stories where the villain still loses, but his competency didn't never change. You know, like usually when you have a hero that's just as competent or more competent, but not by making the villain less competent. It's just instead of bringing the villain down, raising the hero up. You know. Um. Um. Let's see. Back to Michael. Michael's interesting. I actually did like Bill, but Michael's Michael got a plan. Michael did a plan, and I liked it. But I felt there should have been a bit more consequence. Like I don't know. Some of the consequences felt a little hollow, especially when like literally he literally did manage to kill everyone on that island. Um, Now that's just me. I'm a bit more of the darker deal, but because he drew all their energies up into powering the machine. Um, I don't know. I did like. I know a lot of people have no. I did like Zane and Quiet Chen's relationship. It was actually interesting, and up until the in half. No, not even the in half. The last few episodes, because after that it just became kind of I didn't actually care for Airmail at all. Literally, like the entirety of Air Mile, anytime that the scenes would pop up, I'd just click on the videos, skip till that scene was over, and I didn't miss anything. I could, like, literally, when you can skip content and not be missing out on anything, that's pretty bad sign you're not doing things right. Um, yeah, because it was like, oh, I know where this is going. Anytime the Aphmau scene popped up, it was like, oh, knowing what this scene's going, and it would go exactly how you would think it would go. I can't think of any time I was actually surprised. Um, in the Aphmau becoming a werewolf, eh, it was more. It played more like into her being a Mary Sue than it did as an emotional moment. I know it was meant